Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel where we deep dive into the Old Testament line by line in my big Bible journal where we make notes of this thing and do it in small chunks so that we can easily digest it and ponder what it really means. And we are at a story of Abraham. He sends this servant off to find a wife for his son Isaac. And this is in Genesis chapter 4, verses 15 through 60. It just goes on to repeat the entire story of the servant going to find a wife, Rebekah, at length. And I don't understand why they tell the exact same story. Like, was the scribes just very energetic that day? They had some extra paper. Like, oh, why repeat the story in its entirety once again? I don't know. And then you go to Genesis chapter 24, verses 61, and it goes into Isaac is meditating when he sees these camels approaching, and these camels and servants and such are his future wife Rebekah coming in. And what I found really just standing out in this was he's purposefully going to meditate. And this is the book of God, Jehovah. Why is there no description of what it is to meditate? And there's so many different modalities to meditating, and there's just countless ways to do that. So why is there not really good instruction on what that means and how to do it? I found it just standing out strikingly to me. And then we go on in chapter 24 of Genesis, verse 62, and right before it talks about meditating, it says Isaac is coming from the well of the living one, and it's all in capital letters. And then it continues further in capital letters, the well of the living one, my beholder. That is obviously extraordinarily significant, but there is zero explanation, which so far we have come to discover that much of this has zero explanation, which definitely explains why there are so many scholarly debates. Different priests, pastors, ministers of every stripe have different interpretations, and they extrapolate what it is that they believe it to say when there is no explanation and it is primarily a large guess. So I don't know. And then why write it? Why write that? He's coming from the well of the living one, my beholder. Okay, but why write that in a way that it insinuates we already know what that means? We already know where this place is. We understand it. Well, how could that be? How can we understand what that means? Only they could in that time period. So anyway, moving on, chapter 24, verses 64 through 67, Rebekah sees Isaac. And when she sees him, she covers her face with some type of veil. Perhaps that's a common practice. I don't know. Was she shy, nervous, insecure of her looks? She just covers her face. And then the servant tells Isaac the story about how he went and did all these things to get her. And then without hesitation, Isaac takes the veil-faced girl Rebekah, takes her into his tent, which was his mother's tent. She's now dead. And so he takes her in that tent and has sex with her. It says he takes her. And we all know what that means. So he takes her, and then they instantly become married. A couple of striking things about that. Is there no ceremony? Is ceremony unimportant at this time? Do the families not get together and commingle and create some type of bond? No. He just rushes her in the tent, has sex with her, and then they're married. It seems like, as so much of this has been so far, massive amounts of detail are left out, which seems rather odd, being the direct word of God, as so many say. And it makes it very difficult to comprehend that. And with that, we talk about, in our other channel, Mystics of Texas, a wide variety of topics that we believe the infinite, the source of all things, there is some creator that the finite mind of man cannot comprehend, but there are obvious tools available to us that help us reduce our anxiety, help us build better relationships, help us know ourselves so that we can navigate more smoothly through this world, that we individually and collectively can get together and meditate in wonderful groups to help elevate each other, to just to help forge through this life shrinking divides so that we can ultimately communicate in our individual ways with the divine. And that is what we do on the Mystics of Texas, mysticsoftexas.com. And if you're in the local area and you'd like to join us, we get together every Sunday at 1:15. And we'd love to see you. And it's not like going to most churches where you go and then you leave and you feel alone still. That's not what happens here. We build really strong relationships where we stay in contact with each other and really work toward building satisfying, mutually beneficial relationships. And I think it's wonderful. So if you'd like to join us, come on out. We'll see you next time.